Let's start with prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. So, today's Brajmandal Parikrama, just to give you a context where we are. So, this is our Vrindavan, and then Akrur Ghat, then Mathura, then Madhuban, then Talvan. Then from Talvan, we went all the way to Bahulavan, and from Bahulavan to Pait, to Gantoli, then to Govardhan, and to Radhakund, then to Govardhan, and from Govardhan we went to Kamyavan, there Kedar and Badri, Adibadri and Kedarnath, and from Kamyavan we went to Sanket, and Sanket is in the middle of Nandagaon and Varsana. And today from Sanket we are going to Varsana. Okay, it is mentioned in the scriptures that Varsana is such a holy place, and we will just take a look at Varsana also, Varsana Dham. It's such a beautiful and enchanting land that just by seeing and remembering and experiencing its divine landscape, one's heart and mind are naturally transported to the realm of devotion. Just by seeing, just by experiencing, one's heart and mind are naturally transported to the divine realm of spiritual life, the realm of devotion, right? So such a powerful place. Why is it so powerful? That's the birthplace. That's actually the place where she was brought up. Yeah, not the birthplace, but it is Radharani's place. So let's start with, so this is the beautiful palace where Radharani was brought up, and this is called Ladli Lal Temple or Shriji Temple. Radharani is very fondly called as Shriji. So Shri means beauty and Shriji, it's her temple. And it's such a wonderful place. I don't know if who are there in this call. Shrey, you said you have not been. Ankit, you have not been. Chandraprabha Mataji, you have been there, right?
Yes, I've been there.
Akhilash Shrey Prabhu? It's not present. Sudevi Mataji?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. I do not remember clearly all the places and everything, Prabhu. It's been, I think, a long time.
Yeah, there is some voice. I think Jagannath Tirtha Prabhu was trying to speak at the same time. Jagannath Tirtha Prabhu, have you been there?
I also have been there.
You have not been.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, sorry. I had been there once. I got that opportunity.
Yes,
Prabhu. All the places you've been to, Varsana.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Jagannath Tirtha Prabhu. Where are you?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I actually came just outside, so I also have been there, Prabhu. So I got very good opportunity.
Your voice is breaking. Okay, you've been there, and this is what I heard. Okay, all right. I could not hear whether Bhagavatattva Prabhu and Mataji have been there or not, but I'm assuming you've been there. Okay, so this is the beautiful palace of Radharani, where she was brought up. And this is another. I will show you some other. Like there is somebody who's not on mute, creating some. Or is there an echo? Who's trying to speak? Okay. I think Jagannath Tirtha Prabhu, you were but anyway, I have muted everyone. So before we understand the importance of this place, because unless we hear, it just appears another place, right? What is the big deal about this? But it is so important and such a relishable place. So let us first try to chant the pranam mantra of Radharani. Right? You can chant on mute only. If you don't know, you can repeat after me. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. So the rupa or the form of Radharani is Tapta Kanchana, like a gold if it is molten. So how much shining that will be? So molten gold complexion. Tapta Kanchana Gaura Angi. Gaura is golden. Gaurangi. Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. She is the queen of Vrindavan. Without her permission, without her approval, one cannot enter into Vrindavan. Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. Vrishabhanu Sute Devi. Her father's name is Vrishabhanu. Vrishabhanu Sute Devi. Pranamami Hari Priya. I bow down to her who is very dear to Hari. Hari Priya. Hari Priya is another name of Radharani. Each of these words can be explained in multiple ways, but unfortunately we don't want to get into that. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Okay. Now, so the most important thing is, first we need to understand Radharani's position, then we can appreciate Radharani's birthplace or the place where she belongs to. So to understand Radharani's position, she is Hari Priya. She is very dear to Krishna, and one of the most important things about Radharani is she is very compassionate. She is very compassionate on any devotee. Any devotee who comes sincerely and wants to offer wants to render any devotional service, immediately Radharani says, "Oh, look at this devotee. He or she is trying to render some devotional service. Let me recommend this devotee to Krishna." And the moment she does that, then Krishna agrees. Okay, if Radharani is recommending, because Radharani is very dear. She is Hari Priya. So why Radharani is very dear? And what is Radharani's position? This is from a purport from Srila Prabhupada. I think this is 2.2.23. Lord Shri Krishna is the property of his pure unconditional devotees. And as such, only the devotees can deliver Krishna to another devotee. So you see, Lord Krishna is the property of his pure unconditional devotees. There is one song that we sing, Krishna to tumara Krishna dete paro. So Krishna is yours. Krishna is not our property. Krishna is the property of his unconditional devotees, like Radharani, like Srila Prabhupada. So Krishna is the property of his pure unconditional devotees, and as such, only the devotees can deliver Krishna to another devotee. To access Krishna by our own efforts, by our own endeavors, by logic, by arguments is not possible. Mahajano yena gatasya pantha dharmasya tattva nihita guhayam mahajano yena gatasya pantha. Only way we can access Krishna is if we follow in the footsteps of these pure devotees, these Mahajanas. Because Krishna is actually locked in their heart. Dharmasya tattva nihitam guhaya. It is there in their hearts and they can reveal it to us. Krishna is never obtainable directly. In Vrindavan, all the pure devotees pray for the mercy of Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Lord Shri Krishna. Srimati Radharani is a transcendental feminine counterpart of the Supreme Whole, resembling the perfectional stage of the worldly feminine nature. Therefore, the mercy of Srimati Radharani is available very readily to the sincere devotees. And once he recommends such a devotee to Lord Krishna, the Lord at once accepts the devotee's admittance into his association. So even though physically we are all in different place is just a physical, space. But even mentally also we are in different places. Some people may reach Vrindavan physically, but they may not access mentally by their consciousness. They are bereft of attaining the mercy of Vrindavan. They are bereft of attaining the consciousness of Krishna or the consciousness of Vrindavan. That is only possible if only Radharani gives admittance into Krishna's association. So it is very important to understand this. This is a truth. This is a reality. I mean, only when pure devotee bestows his or her unconditional mercy upon us that we access Krishna Prem. Directly, it is not possible to access. There is a verse, and this is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami speaking in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he is telling, Yaha vai guru vastu nahi sunishchita, tathapi gurura dharma gaurava varjita. Now this sums up, this actually he's talking on, this is Rupa Goswami talking about Krishna. And here Krishna is talking about Radharani. So Rupa Goswami is quoting what Krishna thinks about Radharani. So this is the translation of this verse is, there is certainly nothing greater than her love. So the first line of this sloka, this is Sanskrit and this is Bengali. Yaha vai guru vastu nahi sunishchita. There is nothing greater than her love. But her love is devoid of pride. Tathapi gurura dharma gaurava varjita. Gaurava varjita is devoid of pride. That is the sign of its greatness. Actually, this one thing we were seeing even in Govardhan's pastime, Haridasa Bharya, Manati, that Manoti, that he gives that reverence and respect. It's a very significant portion of defining what kind of a devotee one is. How much I'm hankering for respect, how much I'm looking for appreciation, acknowledgement, accolades, and how much I'm giving respect, how much I am doing service pridelessly. Pride is very natural to come. I am doing so nice service. I have been doing this service for such a long time, or nobody can do better service than I. These are all natural traps, and these traps actually take us away from experiencing the pure devotional service of Krishna. And this is what Radharani illustrates in her life, in her example, that how she is bereft of this pride. As we, even materialistic activities, when somebody takes credit, he should understand from Krishna's instruction in Bhagavad Gita, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa, ahankara vimurhatma kartaham iti manyate. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa. The conditioned living entity is constantly influenced by the three modes of material nature. The Prakriti is acting, it is making the person act. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankara vimurhatma. Because of pride, ahankara vimurhatma, one person becomes stupid, foolish. Vimurhatma kartaham iti manyate, he thinks he is doing this. And this one thing which is so special about Radharani, and in this particular verse, when Prabhupada is quoting in one of the letters, he's saying, while engaging in devotional service also, we sometimes forget that Krishna is the center and start taking pride in whatever service we do. In the above verse, we can very nicely see what quality pleases Lord Krishna. When we just begin engaging ourselves in devotional service, we simply serve the Lord without any expectations, without questioning the people who are mercifully engaging us in Krishna's service. But as the days go by, if we lose focus on the goal of devotional service, what is the goal of devotional service? To please Krishna. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshate. The ultimate goal of doing or some siddhir haritoshana. All these things are telling that the goal of engaging in devotional service is to please Krishna. But if we forget that, the center of all our activities is pleasing Krishna, then what happens is, but as the days go by, if we lose focus on the goal of devotional service, then nasty ideas like pride, seniority, etc. creep in. And we try to find fault both with our seniors and with the newcomers, forgetting the fact that we were also in the same situation some time back. The point to hammer upon our dull-witted brain is that we must give respect to all people, be they seniors or newcomers, etc. In his purport to verse 7.1.27, Prabhupada says, very nicely explains, the nature of Radharani. A pure devotee always thinks himself more deficient than everyone else. If a devotee approaches Srimati Radharani to offer some service to Krishna, even Srimati Radharani thinks that the devotee is greater than she. So that is why she is very dear. And as I said, she is extremely compassionate. So let's move on. I just spoke about this purport of Prabhupada, where he is telling that the exalted nature of Radharani is as follows. Pure devotee always thinks himself more deficient than everyone else. If a devotee approaches Srimati Radharani to offer some service to Krishna, even Srimati Radharani thinks that the devotee is greater than she. That is why our dear Srila Prabhupada, when he arrived here in the Commonwealth Pier in Boston, he wrote this beautiful poem where this particular stanza gets repeated. Krishna tava punya have bhai, e punya koribe jabe Radharani khushi have, dhruva ati boli tumata hai. It's a very beautiful song, very meaningful, very touching, very deep song. So the meaning of that is, I emphatically say to you, O brothers, bhai, Krishna tava punya have bhai, and dhruva ati boli tomata. I emphatically say to you, Prabhupada is saying, O brothers, you will obtain your good fortune from the Supreme Lord Krishna only when Srimati Radharani becomes pleased with you. Punya karibe jadi Radharani khushi have, dhruva ati boli tomata. So now that the fact that we are in Varsana, I'll tell you some few important places and I'll show you a glimpse of the beautiful place where Radharani was brought up also. But the point that I want you to remember and reflect is this interesting and the important characteristic of Radharani of appreciating other service and not having any pride in doing her service. And this is something which we have to, as a sadhaka, constantly look within. Because if we don't do that, then the center of activity will not be Krishna. It will be hungry for pride, it will be hungry for pleasure, it will be hungry for something else, all these nasty things. That is why if you remember the beautiful prayer that Kunti Maharani offers, Shrunvanti gayanti grunanti abhikshnasa smaranti nandanti tabehitam jana taeva pashyanti achirena tavakam bhava pravaho paramam padambujam. So Shrunvanti gayanti grananti. Shrunvanti is to hear, grananti is to Shrunvanti gayanti is to sing, grananti is to accept. Shrunvanti gayanti grananti abhikshnasa smaranti is to remember, nandanti. That word nandanti is very important. If you see the word-to-word meaning and the translation, Prabhupada writes, nandanti is to take pleasure in others doing devotional service. And the best example for this is Srimati Radharani. And she becomes pleased when she sees someone trying to offer a small thing also. That is the quality that we have to imbibe. I don't know if I think I have shared this story once. We'll share this story one more time. There was a king, and this king was offering some food stuff to some brahmanas. So while he was doing that, I'll very quickly say, so he was doing this distribution of food stuff to brahmanas, and in the sky there was an eagle which was flying. And when this eagle was flying, it was carrying a prey, which is a poisonous snake. And the snake was alive. It was feeling the pain because it has been caught by the eagle. So a drop of venom from the mouth of the snake, it fell into the plate of the person who was carrying prasadam, one brahmana. The moment he ate it, he didn't realize that there is a drop of poison which has fallen, and the person died. The brahmana died. So the Yamadutas, they were thinking, who should the blame go to? Should it go to the king? Because the king is giving the food. Should it go to the eagle who's flying in the sky because he was carrying the snake? Or should it go to the snake because from his mouth this venom fell down? Who should it go to? Brahmana. Oh, Brahmana, poor fellow, he is eating. No, what is his fault? He should see. Wow. There's so many things which happen now behind this thing in the wall, behind that something happening. How do I know? I can't see, right? The drop is falling and you'll look at the sky and you'll realize it's a poison which is falling from a snake and you blame the Brahmana for that. Of all the people, she doesn't have any fault. You're blaming that. snake. No, interestingly, what happened was in that kingdom, when this incident happened, there were a few other brahmanas who were trying to find out where is the place where this food distribution is going on. So they were going and they found one lady, one old elderly lady, and they asked, where is that king's palace where that food distribution is happening? So she pointed out, oh, well, you go right and then you take left and then you go straight and you'll reach the palace. That is the place where there lives that king who's famous for killing the brahmanas. He said like this, loose tongue, and he spoke like this. And the story says, as soon as he uttered this statement, Yamaraj decided to assign the sinful reaction to this woman, to the lady, to that elderly lady, because she was finding fault for no reasons. Right? The king was actually repenting and lamenting that a Brahmana died. Eagle was busy catching prey. He did not intend to hurt the Brahmana. The snake also had, spit the poison out of pain. He didn't have any intention to kill the Brahmana. But the lady, who was not caring to know the real situation, simply accused the king to be a killer of the Brahmanas. Oh, there lives the king who's the killer of the Brahmanas. So she had to take the reaction of all the reaction for killing the Brahman. So point is, if we are unable to appreciate the service done by others, we should at least refrain from fault finding, blaming, accusing. So these are all things which have to be learned over a period of time, because our conditioned state doesn't allow us to engage in devotional service. Devotional service is purifying provided we do it the right mood, with a mood of pleasing Krishna, and Radharani is an epitome of that. Radharani is a perfect example of that. Even though she is dearmost to Krishna, everybody is trying to attract the attention of Krishna, but Krishna's attention goes to Radharani, and Radharani is always busy in serving Krishna and sees other devotees who are coming forward and recommends them. So the places there in Braj, let me show quickly some place so that then I can tell you a little more about this places. Thank you. Is screen visible? See, the internet is very slow too. I didn't do anything. It's a very nice video. It's streaming. Have you climbed the steps here? All the steps? 100 or more?
राधे राधे सब जग कहंदा मैं भी कहंदा राधे 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 सब जग कहंदा मैं भी कहंदा राधे इस ਤਨ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਾਧੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਓ ਰਾਧੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਤਨ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਾਧੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਾਧੇ ਵਸੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਦੇ ਸਾਦੇ ਰਾਧੇ ਰਾਧੇ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਮਿਲੋ ਦੇ राधे श्याम है श्याम की राधे कान्हा का की नाम है राधे सबको ये राज बता
Actually, there is another video where you can see the DT. How do you know? Okay, so here is the darshan of the DT of Radharani. Anyway, you had the darshan of Radharani and place in Uttana. Just want to tell about 2-3 places which is close by there. One is Mangad. Mangad is the place where actually this pastime happened when Radharani was angry at Krishna because Krishna made her wait for a long time. And apparently she heard from her Sakhis that Krishna was with Chandravali. And that made her more enraged. So no matter how much Krishna tried to pacify her, she didn't get pacified. So then Lalita Sakhi, one of the associates of Radharani, made Krishna dress like a Sakhi, like a girl. So Krishna was dressed in saris and she went and she was introduced by Lalita Sakhi to Radharani that this is Shyama Sakhi, a new Sakhi who has come. And she is expert in playing Veena. So Krishna started playing Veena and glorifying Krishna himself. So beautifully he sang and glorified, and the moment Radharani heard Krishna's glories and Krishna's pastimes and activities and that beautiful Veena that Krishna was playing, she immediately melted. She became happy and she came back to Krishna. That pastime happened in Mangad. Then there is one place called Mor Kutir. Mor Kutir is the place where Krishna became a peacock and danced. Vrindavan is filled with peacocks, and one such day Krishna had become peacock to dance. So that place, if you go, you can see Krishna as peacock in that temple. And then there is another one called Piri Pokhri. Pokhri is a pond or a water body. And what happened when Radharani prepares beautiful foodstuff for Krishna every day. New foodstuff without repeating and very tasty and relishable. So one day she had gone to Nandagram to Yashoda Mai's Bhavan, and she had prepared some wonderful items, and seeing her wonderful qualities, Yashoda was so happy, Mother Yashoda. Then she put some haldi in her hands, in the hands of Radharani. So when Radharani was about to go to Varsana, she realized if people get to know that it has been done by Yashoda, they may doubt or they may question or something. So she went and washed her hands in one place in a kunda or in a water body, and that kunda water became completely yellow. So that's called Tir Pukri. There is one place called Dan Ghati where again, Krishna and his friends, they used to take toll tax from these gopis and from the Sakhis of Radharani. So these are all very wonderful pastimes, places of Radharani in and around Varsana. And it is mentioned not a single demon has entered into Varsana. It could never access Varsana. A person who goes with demoniac tendency, with some other motive, can't enter into Varsana. So this is the wonderful place of Varsana which comes in Brajamandal Parikrama, and tomorrow we are going to go to Nandagram. But today, before we close and start our Damodar Ashtakam, reflect on this one important quality of Radharani, that how sincerely she is engaged in devotional service without any pride, Gaurava Varjitam, and how she is so compassionate to see the sincerity in any other devotee, and she recommends. If on this day when we are in Varsana, if we can meditate on this one quality of Radharani and pray fervently and sincerely to Radharani to, at least somehow, if she notices that there is some sincerity in us and we get rid of all this false pride and the things that are there inside, those nasty things, if we get rid of that and take shelter of Radharani, and if Radharani recommends, then our life is success. Srimati Radharani ki, Varsana Dham ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. So now we will have Damodar Ashtakam.